All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for our last group of candidates. We invited all three of the county commissioner candidates, and all three of the county commissioner candidates are here this morning. So we have Mark Reed and Susan Fletcher and Ann Lieber. If you guys want to come forward, that would be great. And Ann, I had you on the list first, so maybe you can...
Good afternoon. My name is Ann Lieber. I'm running for Collin County Commissioner Precinct 1. I'm a Tea Party leader and a grassroots conservative Republican activist that works at the local level concerning things such as transportation, infrastructure, and property rights. And I loved hearing this morning in the training that the word Republican activist was used. Because an activist, that's not a bad word. That's not a radical word. What that is a conservative Republican that is knowledgeable and will take that knowledge and go to places where there is not a conservative voice. Go to those dark places. And I know in my race, the other two candidates are wonderful conservatives, and I've heard that this is the toughest race for people because we all are good and qualified. However, I think what distinguishes me is my activism. With the Prosper Tea Party, what we have tried to do is educate our group and then go to town council meetings, go to tech stop meetings, go to NTTA meetings, and really be that voice. And what concerns me so much today regarding transportation is a push to regionalize. They would like to pull all of our tax dollars with other cities, towns, and counties, and then have boards and councils of appointees decide where the money goes. And that's not the American way, and that's not representation. I understand that. I fight for that, and I'm going to continue to fight for it. And yes, there are certain authority that the court has. I don't know how effective I can be in really pushing back against regionalism. But I will try, and I will also educate to this and continue to speak to this because it is not right. It's happening daily, and I want to represent the people of Precinct 1 to the best of my ability and fight for them because we are an affluent county, and whether people realize it or not, there's people that want our money. And I don't think it's right. I don't think that's representation. I don't think that's constitutional. It's not the American way. So, again, Ann Lieber, Collin County Commissioner, Precinct 1, and I would appreciate your consideration. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Susan Fletcher. I am running for Collin County Commissioner Precinct 1 to be your conservative, independent voice on the court. I think it's very, very important that we have someone on the court who will be an independent voice connected to the people. I have been working in the party for 20 years. My very first thing that I did in the party was to go do a life change back in 1993. Life is very important. That's one of the planks of our party, and we stand very strongly on life. I am thankful to have served on the state platform committee, representing that particular subcommittee and life, and it is very, very important. I also helped start the Christian Coalition in Denton County back in 1994. So I have a 20-year record of voting Republican and in every single primary election. I think that's very important for you to look at. The voting records of all three of us. Like I said, we're all conservative. Anna said that, that's important. That there's more to it than that. Infrastructure is very important. We have 74 people a day moving here to Collin County. We have got to continue looking after these roads. We've got to build roads. Economic development is very important. We want to have corporations moving here. When you have people moving here, they need jobs. Jobs are important. We've got to keep up with that. I want to keep your taxes low. I think that we've got the second lowest tax rate in the entire state. I just don't want to look like we do. So I think it's important. Right now, we still have great leadership in the county, and I think that I want to applaud the court and all those that have gone before me, and I think they've done a great job. I think it's important that we look into public safety and make sure that we don't have the B team. So that's going to be an important part of my campaign, to look into public safety. I would love to answer any questions that you might have about me and my qualifications. Despite what you might have heard, I have worked in the corporate world. I have run my own business in interior design and commercial construction. I just happen to care more about public policy and good legislation than I do about a paycheck. And so after I had my son, I stayed home, I raised him, and I go to Washington about 4 times a year. Rattle the cages, working to legislate and go talk to these people that are making public policy and make sure that we are standing up for what we say we believe in. I think it's very, very important. So I thank you for your time. Thank you for serving as Republican precinct chairs. This is a critical role. My husband is also a precinct chair, and I have served along with him and helped reach out to our precinct and our House district. And I just want to thank you all for serving. And appreciate your time. And we appreciate your vote. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I'm Mark Reed. I'm your current county commissioner in Precinct 1. Replace this young man over here that's dressed so nicely today. For those of y'all that don't know, Keith Self put out a call for people to submit resumes for the job when it became apparent that past Commissioner Shaheen was going to seek higher office. 9 of us submitted resumes. The judge reviewed those resumes, interviewed some of us a couple of times, and then selected me to fill the post until the position can be filled in the next general election. I think that says, well, it's a great honor to be selected, and I am serving in the seat right now and representing you in Precinct 1. A lot of people don't know what the commissioners do. I'm one of 5 on the Commissioner's Court that basically directs how the county is run. It's an administrative job. It's not a legislative job. It's not a political job. It's one of administration and policy setting. And it's an important job because our county government is a $280 million enterprise with 35 elected officials and over 1,800 employees. It's a lot of responsibility. So you need experience dealing with those sorts of issues to make the decisions that you need to make on the court. So why should you vote for Mark Reed? I have not been active in politics for the last 20 years. I have been very active in the last 5 years, though. I spent my career building a multi-million-dollar commercial construction firm here in North Texas. We've been very blessed and had some success there. But I've made payrolls. I've dealt with contracts on multi-million-dollar projects. I've built projects. I've made the decisions that you have to make on the County Commissioner's Court. During that time, I've also been very active in volunteer services. I volunteered at my church. In fact, I've held leadership positions in all of these volunteer areas, in church, in community. I've served on the Collin County Planning Board. Prior to appointment, where's Fred? Prior to appointment, Fred did me the honor of asking me to serve as vice chair for a little while on the Collin County Republican Party. So I've served in both grassroots politic leadership roles, Republican Party leadership roles, and then all sorts of community leadership roles. My priorities for the court. People ask what you want to do, and the underlying assumption is that there's something that needs to be done on the court. And the reality is we live in a county that's very, very well run. We have the lowest tax rate in the state, except for that one area that Susan talked about, and the only reason their tax rate is lower is because they have a lot of oil revenues, which we don't have. We have, oops, sorry, Siri's going to talk to us now. We have a low tax rate, and we provide excellent services. It's due to the leadership that's preceded me on the court. So there's not big problems that we need to solve, but that doesn't mean we can't improve things. We need to constantly be looking for ways to do things faster, smarter, and better. Complacency kills, and so we can't be complacent. On the court, I want to continue. I'm absolutely committed to keeping our taxes low. That's why I got involved in politics, is because of out-of-control spending in Washington. So I'm absolutely committed to keeping our taxes low. I'm absolutely committed to maintaining the quality of services that we have in this county. And to do that, we've got to rely on the other elected officials and department heads in the county that are doing these things. Nobody here is an expert on all the different areas that the county deals in. So we need to rely on those people with superior knowledge. That's what I do when we're building buildings. A general contractor is not an expert in all areas of construction. We rely on the superior knowledge of engineers and of our subcontractors. I'll do the same thing as a commissioner. But just as I do in business, I don't just take the word of those people for granted. I have to have enough knowledge and enough discernment to be able to distinguish between what's good for the project and what's bad for the project, what's good for the county and what's bad for the county. I have to look long range in a business. I have to look years out in advance to plan and have the things in place so that the business can survive long range. So I'll work a lot with the county elected officials and department heads to make sure that we continue to provide the quality services that we enjoy in the county right now. The other priority is to work with our state legislators. There's some problems, some challenges we have in the county that the county government can't solve. Water, transportation, some of those things. That goes to the state legislator. We need good people there to look at those issues. During the 83rd session last year, a group of us formed an organization called the North Texas Citizens Lobby. We had representatives in Austin every week of the regular session of the 83rd legislature, talking to the representatives, talking to the senators, attending committee hearings, attending everything that we could. We read the legislation. In fact, Barbara Harless, there's Barbara. Barbara was one of those. We read the legislation, we talked to our reps, and we got some things done. Leadership is always a challenge down there because it's sometimes prohibits things from happening that we want to happen, but we got things done. I look forward to the opportunity as your commissioner to go down to Austin as an elected official and continue that effort in the 84th and leading up to the 84th, working with the leadership and with the legislators to get things lined out so that when the 84th comes along, we can get some things done and look out for the interests of Collin County. Again, this is where the rubber meets the road in state government, is at the county commissioner's court and in the county. So you need somebody with experience. If I was going to hire somebody to run my business or to run a business that I own part of, I would hire somebody that has relevant, real-world, proven experience, and I have that. I thank you guys for all of the hard work you do, because just as the county commissioner's court takes care of the business of the county, you guys take care of the business of the Republican Party, and what the work you do is essential. So thank you for doing that, and check me out on my website, www.votemarkreed.com. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.